We'll do it live. Do it live. Do it live. We'll do it live.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Do It Live, where we're here to ask the question, have you seen It Comes at Night? Okay, so let's just jump right into it. This is a post-apocalyptic world, or there's some sort of epidemic or disease that's going on. That part of the film doesn't fully get explained. But yeah, as the movie starts off, you are introduced to the first initial family that you meet. There's a dad named Paul, there is the mom named Sarah, and their son, Travis. Oh, and can't forget the grandpa, and right from the get-go, grandpa is looking rough. I mean, he's got sores and bruises all over his skin, doesn't look like he's slept at all. He's spewing out like black puke, looks like black oil or something like that, or like, I don't know, like KC Masterpiece even. I mean, it's coming out. Everything's real like somber, everything's really depressing right from the get-go. Next thing you know though, the grandson Travis and the dad Paul, and they put the grandpa in this like two-wheeler, you know, and they are wheeling him out into the woods out from their house. They get to a spot, and yeah, the dad puts pillows over his face. Shoots the grandpa, rolls him up like a burrito, and then dumps him in a hole that they have, I guess, pre-dug, and lights him on fire. And that, folks, is the beginning of our movie. Now, I do think it's important for me to mention that during this time, this is all happening in front of the grandson. Travis experienced all of this. And even the movie right after that, the parents, they start asking, you know, maybe it wasn't a good idea for Travis to see that, you know. And so this is where we have our setup for our first family. This is the life they live. It's a survival mode. It's they got to do what they have to do at all costs type of thing. But the movie does show that they are still kind of a family, and they do have like a family unit, like eating together, working together, and everything. But they are prepared to survive, if you will. Now here's where things get interesting. At night, apparently something or someone is trying to break into their house. They go to investigate. They find somebody that snuck into their house. Paul knocks his lights out, ties him up to a tree, and then starts questioning him. Now, it turns out this guy's name is Will, and Will says that he also has a family, and that he was just looking for supplies. So Paul doesn't know whether to believe him or not, but eventually ends up showing a little compassion and saying, okay, look, we got some water, you say you have some food, why don't we work together? Why don't we join forces? You can bring your family to our house, and we'll try to survive this thing together. From the get-go, things start looking like this is going to be a good idea. You know, like Will ends up turning out to be, you know, kind of useful. They come to the house. They seem to be, you know, very willing to accept the rules of the house and all that Paul and Sarah and Travis have set up. Now, in the meantime, Travis, he's kind of feeling more left out of the picture. I mean, there's a scene where you know, he has a dog, and it's, you know, he's very close to it, and he even says at one point in the movie that, you know, he's, you know, I'll protect you, boy, or, you know, I'll make sure nothing happens to you. Well, at some point in the movie, his dog runs off and disappears, and they can't go after him because, you know, they're worried about, you know, getting infected with a disease or something, or someone attacking them. And so now he's lost his best friend. So first he loses his grandpa. Then he loses a man's best friend. And then to make things worse, see, I thought they were just going to leave it at that. But to make things worse, the dog does eventually come back a couple days later. But it's not doing so hot. Something's attacked it. It's all cut up and beat up. And the dad, just like the beginning, rolls it up and lights it on fire right in front of Travis. Makes Travis watch for whatever reason. So yeah, he's now experienced two horrific events in his life in a matter of, I'd say, maybe days, weeks, something like that. And yeah, the movie doesn't stop there. Oh no, Travis's journey into depression just skyrockets from there. So Travis, you know, he's a 17-year-old boy. You know, he's in his room, and you know, his parents are, you know, they're a couple. They're in one room, and then this new couple, they're in another room. And you know, things start to get a little intimate here and there, and Travis is just all by himself in his room, just alone, forever alone. And there's a moment where the movie kind of wants you to kind of focus in on that. You know, he's in his bed crying. And yeah, you know, and I get it. He's a teenager boy, you know, and I don't know. He starts crushing on Will's wife Kim, and you know, things do get a little awkward for him, and you know, it's just a bad turn of events. Well, long story short, guys, Andrew, Will and Kim's little boy, at some point in the film, somehow, doesn't really dive into it, gets infected with this disease. Now, rather than allowing Kim and Will to just leave with Andrew, Sarah and Paul they kick on survival mode. This even surprised me. They kick on survival mode, and they're saying, well, if we can't just let them go, because if we do that and they run out of food or supplies, guess who they're going to come back to? And who knows who they might bring with them. They are ready to end these people's lives, this family's lives. You know, it's just straight up survival mode. And to me, that was really shocking that they were like this happy family one time, you know, 1 minute, and they were just able to switch like that. So, yeah, again, this movie, what it does a lot is you are always tense. Like, you know, you think you can ease up a little bit, and then you intensify. Like it just keeps that tension constant. Stuff gets heated, and shots are fired. Will and Kim running for their lives from, surprisingly enough, Paul and Sarah. But again, tragedy of Travis over here. Travis was told to stay in the room until they figure all this stuff out. Well, he gets nervous and everything, and he runs outside, and he runs right at the moment where he sees the woman he was crushing on get shot by none less his own father. Again, ruining any chance of happiness that this man had, or any wishes or hopes. And next thing you know is Travis has now become sick himself. And, you know, the movie ends with him kind of having these, like, you looking through his eyes at his mother's face, telling him that it's going to be okay, and then his father, who seems really sad and is crying. And without, you know, showing us very much, what ends up happening is it just goes to a scene of Paul and Sarah sitting at the dinner room table, and there's Travis's chair just empty, and then fade, credits. So yeah, to me it kind of reminded me of an ending of a of like one of those choose your own adventure games, like the Oregon Trail or something like that, when you sink. I mean, it was just very like, you know, yep, and he died, and then end, like, game over. This movie, it looked nice. I thought it was a very gloomy, very dark film. Good light reflections off of people's skin, off of objects in the room. You know, the whole time it makes you feel like you are in the dark with like a flashlight in this movie with them, but not amateurs. Don't get that idea. Very, very well, awesome lit film. And yeah, it has this like really, you know, it makes you feel intense. It has good suspense. And honestly, I think this movie was mainly about humanity and, like, you know, what people are willing to do. And acting, phenomenal. Acting was absolutely phenomenal. Everybody was very believable, and they acted like how real humans, I think, would, you know, in that panic state, in that paranoid state, in that fearful state. You know, like what would you do, you know, if you're on the brink of just trying to survive? I really enjoyed this movie, guys. I think it's definitely worth a check out. If I had to rate this movie, I think I'd give it maybe 8 Forever Alone faces out of 10. 8 Forever Alone faces out of 10. I guess we'll put that maybe right here. Yeah, 8 Forever Alone faces, aka Travis. But yeah, guys, give the video a like if you liked what you saw. Hit subscribe for more videos along the way. As always, guys, thank you for watching. This has been another episode of Do It Live, and we'll see you next time.